So good afternoon. Thanks for being here today. Today I'm sharing news that a JSO officer has been arrested, corrections officer has been arrested by our agency. Yesterday evening, corrections officer Cassius Edwards was arrested for DUI manslaughter and vehicular homicide and booked in the Duval County Pretrial Detention Facility. This arrest stems from a fatal traffic crash that occurred just before 2 a.m. on November 12, 2023. As a matter of background, Officer Edwards has been employed by JSO for 7 years. His date of hire by JSO was January 30th of 2017. During his tenure with JSO, he's exclusively worked in corrections. Upon the completion of his criminal case, JSO will conduct an administrative review of the incident. Additionally, he has been suspended without pay and stripped of all of his authority as a correctional officer. As this is an active criminal case being prosecuted by our partners at the State Attorney's Office, there is limited information with which I can provide you at this time. However, the following is a factual summation supporting Edwards' arrest. Just before 2 a.m. on November 12, 2023, the deceased victim was driving southbound on South Lane Avenue, approaching San Juan Avenue. Edwards was driving at a very high rate of speed northbound on South Lane Avenue, also approaching San Juan. When the deceased victim proceeded to turn left onto San Juan Avenue, Edwards crashed into the right front portion of the deceased victim's vehicle, and due to the impact force, the deceased victim's vehicle was overturned. Tragically, the victim died on scene due to his injuries suffered during the crash. Edwards sustained non-life-threatening injuries. The JSO Traffic Homicide Unit immediately began an investigation. JSO's Integrity and Special Investigations Unit coordinated with Traffic Homicide in their investigative efforts. Based on the totality of the circumstances surrounding the crash and Edwards' condition, JSO arrested him for DUI manslaughter and vehicular homicide. Both charges are second-degree felonies. Each charge carries with it a potential 15-year sentence in the Florida State Prison. Edwards was not on duty at this time, or at the time of the incident. Additionally, he was not driving a JSO vehicle. This is the 8th arrest of a JSO employee by this agency in 2023, and the 3rd DUI arrest. Never in my tenure with this agency has an officer been arrested for DUI manslaughter and vehicular homicide. And as your sheriff, as a person who has spent over half this life devoted to this agency and this community, and as a human being, I'm devastated, naturally. But even with this horrific incident weighing heavily on my heart, I am more resolved than ever to continue to do what is right for this city that I love. And today, the right thing is holding Edwards accountable for his decisions and his actions. Due to Marcy's Law, which prevents law enforcement agencies from disclosing the identity of victims, I will not provide any identifying information about the deceased victim. Nevertheless, I do want to address the family members and friends of the deceased victim. I want you to know that I stand by you, and JSO stands by you. While I know that there is no real closure from a loss such as this one, I do believe that accountability through the criminal justice system frames this incident for what it truly is. Our collective belief in accountability outweighs any personal allegiance to JSO employees. No one is above the law. I have promised the public that I will always be transparent about what is going on within this agency and its employees, whether that news is good, bad, or ugly. I do this because fundamentally JSO is an agency that belongs to the public. And today the news I share is both bad and ugly. When an employee of this agency victimizes someone in our community, JSO's allegiance firmly remains with that victim and the victim's family. With Thanksgiving holiday approaching, I want to take this opportunity to remind the public and members of our agency of the dangers of driving under the influence. This heartbreaking incident is a sobering reminder of how perilous the combination of alcohol consumption and driving can be. Please keep yourselves and others safe during the holiday season. And please also join me in sending thoughts and prayers to the deceased victim's family, who have one less treasured person at their Thanksgiving table this year. At this time, I'm happy to take any questions that I can answer.
Sheriff, you said 8th arrest, 3rd DUI this year for the agency. What would you say to the public as far as, I mean, you guys announce it every time there's an arrest, as far as, responsibility of the agency and are people held accountable and can they be trusted?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm here to announce 2 felonies on an employee. We take this stuff very seriously. We take driving under the influence very seriously. Our officers are prohibited from doing it, just as everyone else is. If we catch you doing it, we're going to hold you accountable, just in this case. I think we can be trusted because I think we're telling people about what's going on. Listen, we don't control what people decide to do off duty, but what we do control is the circumstances or the outcome of the incidents when they happen and we find out about it. We found out about this, we're going to deal with it accordingly, and we're going to hope for the best outcome possible. Thank you.